Welcome to reVyven, where environmental ideas come to life. At reVyven, we aim to connect, learn, and make a difference. This is the second episode of a two-part series where we bring you outside with us and into the Swiss Alps. In the first episode, we started out hiking through several remote valleys, interviewed a hut warden, and narrated our experience on the trail. Our story left off with us looking out over the Hoofy Glacier just before dinner at the second mountain hut. It has been a beautiful day, and the hut staff decide to move dinner outside onto the terrace. It is a bit intense with the sun setting over the peak, Gross Rüschen, just across the valley. The views and good food are worth it, but maybe just a little more sunscreen. After a long day hiking, sharing a communal meal that has been cooked for you tastes amazing. Maybe it's the replenishment of salt your body is craving for, or the locally foraged blueberries that make the dessert delicious. Whatever it is, it just tastes better. After dinner, the typical routine starts with everyone getting ready for bed. Teeth, toilet, lights out at 10. For some, those who dare for the summits, wake up long before dawn. The next morning, I wake up and look out our window. It has a view out the back of the hut overlooking the glacier. It's 6:45 in the morning and the sun just began to rise over it. These are the moments that make the hard efforts to get here worth it. At breakfast, the hut warden discusses hiking routes with everybody. He advises us to be wherever we need to be by 3 p.m. because a storm is coming that could bring thunderstorms as early as 12:30. We decide to head out a little bit earlier. After leaving the second hut, we gradually descend over 900 meters in just over 2 hours and stop for a snack at the valley floor. The climb up to the third hut, a steady 600-meter, nearly 2,000 feet climb, will be in full sun and a race before the storm. Still, we have no cell reception. The uphill is a slow, steady series of zigzags, after which we approach an intersection of trails. We see quite a large herd of cows in the distance, some of which have taken over parts of the trail. So it's day 3. We've already gone a lot of the way up. It's about 2.4 kilometers to the hut. We've already descended maybe 1,000 meters. Still have 300 climbing left to go. Looks like we have some traffic on the trail. A bunch of cows. Should be interesting. I don't know if you can hear them. We get a little closer. Good man. Hello. Finally, we arrive at the third hut. It's 12:30. There's a lunch rush, but we manage to share a table with a family and order some coffee and cake. Cake of any sorts in the Alps is always a good choice. You can thank me later.
So tomorrow's like back down the same way we climbed up and then we bear.
A little bit different. The downhill is almost parallel to where we came up. It's pretty straight down to begin with.
Is it that way?
Yeah. No, actually this way. That way goes straight out, and then at the very end it drops like 400 meters, and it's pretty hard on the knees. This one kind of drops a little bit and then kind of levels out and slowly drops to the lake. And then from the lake it's almost pavement to the lift.
There's a lot of people here, surprisingly.
I think it's full tonight.
So you booked pretty far in advance, I guess. farther in advance you book, the more likely you're just going to be like, oh yeah, I want to go here, here, and here, and done.
Yeah, I mean, definitely like, more than a month out, but I think I booked it in like probably March, yeah, end of March. Usually the weekends fill up pretty quick. Like if you do like a Monday through Thursday, you're probably fine.
Probably back there mixing the ingredients to make the cake. It's like, yeah, we gotta go milk the cow.
Seriously. But a lot of these places, they'll make everything from scratch. Like the bread, like all of it. Wasn't really...
Always wanted to go to like
Samen.
Siena.
I'm almost Tony.
Yeah, can.
Okay.
Zo.
Oh, this is good. I guess we missed the weather.
Yeah, we might have. Might have just went gravel.
The guy was saying it was supposed to hit north of us, like over here.
Yeah.
It hasn't quite dropped yet, so...
Well, that was amazing. It was chocolate cake with a thin layer of raspberry jam over the top with chocolate sprinkles. Quite delicious. In fact, I would hike through that entire valley again just for this cake. The girl who's serving our table stops by to settle the bill. She mentions that the storm wasn't coming until later. The weather had changed. With a lot of time on our hands, we explore the area around the hut for an hour. It is in an area abundant with karst, a kind of decaying limestone that forms streaks and gashes in the rock with fissures deep enough to get lost. There are some caves as well, holes in the ground really, that are roped off. Several of them have streams that disappear deep into them. It reminds me of a story of a goat or a sheep, I can't remember, that I heard about while hiking in Canton Valley. It didn't end well for the goat. All they found was the bell. We decide to head back and check in to determine our bunk assignments. It's a Saturday, and the hut is full for the night. We clean up and meet in the dining area to pass the time. In every hut that I have been to, there's always plenty of games to play, particularly when there's no cellular service. The rain finally arrives as a soft blanket of clouds smothering the hut, gently refreshing it and surrounding the area with copious amounts of water. The storm that never really happened finally happens. But just like that, we manage to lose time, and before dinner, the clouds lift, and the sun pierces the clouds with its canted rays across the landscape. The hut clears out with everybody to see nature's work. Aside from the soft chatter of the hut visitors, everyone is quietly enjoying the views, taking photos, and wandering about. Everyone except the marmot across the field. The next day, we head towards the lift station, taking the easier of 3 routes. We plan to drive to Lauterbrunnen Valley, meeting the family for another 3 days of hiking. The 4.5-kilometer descent seems almost too short after the long days we had. To our surprise, when we get back to the car, they erected parking meters while we were gone. Somewhat comical as the service offers a pay-by-app, but there's still no cell service. We hop into the car, and after 2 hours, we meet the rest of the family. Though the Lauterbrunnen Valley is rather touristy, if you go all the way to the end and up the trails, the crowds are greatly reduced. The Liebermans had made this area quite popular with American tourists in the mid to late 90s, followed by Rick Steves in the mid to late 2000s. But most tourists stay in town. We have been visiting this area since we moved to Switzerland in 2007, and it remains a special place to us for many reasons. On this trip, we hike up to Berggasthaus Chingelhorn to stay for 2 nights. Despite having climbed a lot the previous 3 days, the short 5-kilometer climb is more than I remember, probably because I forgot it is just over 800 meters of vertical. The next day, the weather appears to be mixed. Every time we look, it changes. We have the right gear and plan to leave around 10 a.m., just after a cell passes. We have the whole day, almost. There is a strong chance of rain by 4 p.m. The trail takes us past the historic mountain hotel Obersteinberg. This is a timeless gem of a place. Also a recommendation of ours if you have a nostalgic heart. The old wooden houses with slightly leaning interior and years of weather give it a true mountain soul, one that could tell stories if you had the time. There is something intimate about lighting a candle for your lights at night. We continue on past one section of trail just before the large stream crossing that is almost completely washed out. It is a bit of a nail-biter if you are not accustomed to it, or when the washout is quite severe as it has been in recent years. On some occasions, on hot summer days, the river becomes deeper, even lapping over the boards of the bridge from the increased glacial melt. We continue uphill as the trees turn to shrubs and the shrubs disappear, revealing the rocks and the clumps of vegetation leading us towards Oberhornsee. This very small lake is a bit of a mixed bag. It's either full, resembling a sad pond, or dried up. On our visit, it was a pond, a crystal clear pond. Rising above at the back of the valley are two neighboring peaks, which display a magnificent canted tower of rock jutting upwards, looking over a glacier just to the left. Behind the lake is a high moraine, marking the line where the massive glaciers used to be, now receded high up into the mountains, pouring over cliffs. A trail leads up to the moraine, and if you are more extreme than we are, over your choice of passes into the other valleys. When standing on the moraine, it is perhaps the best view of the entire valley. Broad, sweeping 360-degree views with countless majestic peaks all around us. The rain from the last night has dusted the peaks with fresh white snow. The clouds are swirling around and dancing across them. It's hard to tell if it's snow or cloud, perhaps both. The lake is located approximately 2,000 meters on an alpine pasture. Cows graze in the distance. We enjoy the slower pace. No real rush to get back except for the potential rain at 4 p.m. Eventually, we head down and back to the mountain house. All in all, over 6 days, we walked 65 kilometers, 40 miles, climbed over 5,000 meters, or 5.1 kilometers, and descended 4.6 kilometers, and had a lot of cake and coffee. The last place we stayed, Berg Guest House Shinglehorn, I wanted to know what my friend thought about the adventure, and perhaps what draws us outdoors.
So we're here today with Michael Zajac. We are in Shinglehorn in Berner Oberland in the Lauterbrunnen Valley. So Mike, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about who you are?
Yeah, my name is Michael. I'm a structural engineer. I live in Washington, D.C. in the USA. I've been coming to Switzerland semi-annually for about 10 years now. I come here to reconnect with great friends, to enjoy nature, to do some hikes, and to just blow off some steam from the typical workday.
Nice.
That's awesome. And we met Mike in university in
Drexel.
Philadelphia, and we've maintained our connection.
Yeah.
And it's been a nice way to continue the friendship, but also bond through outdoor exploration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike, maybe to just start off, is there something from your past that was nature-based or something that was interesting to you as a kid that maybe drew you to outside?
Yeah, as a kid, we never really did a lot of screen time because we were born and raised in the 80s. And yes, video games were a big thing, but I don't ever remember being grounded for disciplinary measures as a kid. I remember being kicked out of the house and with the stipulation, I don't want to see you until dinner. So that gave significant latitude to get out into the backyard and the woods and whatnot. And looking back at what our world was back then, there was a creek, we called it the Crick, back in the day, and we would ride our bikes to the Crick. And looking back, it seemed like it was just miles away. And now you look at a Google image and you're like, yeah, that was probably 400 yards away. But those experiences as a child, it gets you out of the house, it gets you into nature. And I think that the good thing about that was it felt safe. And it did. My parents never had to worry about where we were. They knew we were going to come back.
Yeah.
And I worry for today's generation. Kids have so much screen time. I think they've lost that carefree nature of childhood and the connection to the outdoors that we really had as kids. And that's something I've never forgotten and always been appreciative of. In my adult life, I've had to make more concerted focus to carve out that time. And it's really hard during a typical weekday when you work long hours and the evening comes and there's chores and things to do. Weekends, though, are where I pretty much give myself free rein, free latitude to get out into nature, usually through cycling or mountain biking. So that's been a good reconnection that I really have to force myself to do.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
And I think you make a valid point, Mike, is that now because there are so many distractions, particularly with technology use, and that's not to say that we're anti-tech or we're Luddites, but it's to say that we do have to put in the effort and the time to make nature a priority in our lives. Where before it was just a given and it was a way we spent endless hours as children, even before I think careers kicked in. But now we really need to place an emphasis on spending quality time outside.
Yeah.
It's amazing. There's almost like a switch that flips. I bought myself a gravel bike last summer, and in DC we have what's called the C&O Canal towpath. It's a long since defunct means of transportation that is now a National Park Service park, and they've basically maintained the towpath of the old canal to use for nature. And as you bike through the suburbs of DC to get onto the towpath, immediately, like, you're surrounded by trees, the towpath, you see the Potomac River on the one side. It's like, wow, that was quick. It's just immediate, like you don't see any houses, you don't see any other distractions. Like, you're immediately in nature, and like you feel it immediately. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that you feel it immediately, because we feel the same thing, that the moment we're either on a trail or somewhere close to nature, you feel that immediate relaxation, the sense of slowing down and unwinding, and the ability to really lose the stress from the day-to-day.
Well, even in the springtime, when you see a photo of the mountains or something, you start getting like the fever to,
like the itch to
get
go
out.
Yeah. And Mike, because we didn't grow up in alpine terrain either, but through each visit we have the opportunity to go into the Alps with you. What does those experiences mean to you?
It's awesome. It's pretty remarkable to just come out here and see whether it's a cloudy day, a foggy day, a clear day. It's pretty amazing. The fresh air, it's good for the soul. It really nourishes the soul in ways that if I just did a staycation back home, it would not be nearly the same experience.
Yeah. I think it's quite restorative, even for us, when we have an opportunity to spend a night or a couple nights in the Alps. Just feels like we breathe easier.
Totally.
Yeah, and the slower start, my mornings are very hectic. I wake up about 5:45 or so, and I'm in the office by 6:45, and it's grind until about 6-something in the evening. And to be out here in the Alps among great people with great scenery, to take it a lot slower, not even a little slower, a lot slower, is a way to recharge one's batteries in a way that I don't think is possible if you just did a staycation and said, I'm going to unplug and stay in my own house and do bike rides in DC or whatever. This is a really different experience.
So this is like the tail end of, 6 days that you've been here with us?
Yes.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about the
first few days?
The first few days, or even
So the first few days I had the good fortune of visiting friends outside of Zurich for one full day, 2 nights. We did a quick little day trip to see a lake, and then I came here and it was pretty much game on. And Robert was kind enough to send me the itinerary of hiking, and I saw various numbers on the form, and I saw like 1,900 meters and 17K, and I'm like, well, maybe 1,900 meters is the length of the hike and 17K is the visibility on a clear day from where we're going, and that was not true.
No.
But
No.
the huge takeaway was many things. Number one, it's a chance to connect with Robert, because I hadn't seen him in about a year. Number two, it's a chance to prove to yourself what you can continue to do as a fit individual year in and year out. You put this 15-kilo bag on your back and you hike up over a mile into the sky over the course of 17 kilometers.
It feels heavier every time you put it on.
It does, but ironically it gets lighter because you consume the resources you've brought along, and you get to the Berghaus and you realize, like, there aren't really any tourists here. This is the backcountry people. These are the
You have
individuals.
to earn your way.
Yes, you've earned it,
Yeah.
and you meet great people up there, and the scenery is pretty spectacular, and you can't get that on the East Coast in the U.S., so it's something I've always looked forward to and really been appreciative of.
Yeah, I think those experiences, Robert and Mike did that trip solo, but I think just from previous experiences, that time in the mountain is really coveted
Yeah.
and really magical in the fact that you really feel removed from everyday life.
Yeah, completely.
That's so nice.
Yeah, and I did not get a data plan when I came here. I said, if I have Wi-Fi, great, I'll check email, but I did tell clients, like, from this date to this date, I am out of commission, out of service. You cannot reach me. And I did not even miss my cell phone. I don't have any games on my phone. I have photos I will capture, but phone in the pocket, phone down, and it's been great. I don't even miss it.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird because we were in a part of Uri, Canton Uri, that was completely absent of cell phone coverage. So, I mean, for me, it felt a little awkward, disconnected, because it was like you're just gone for 3 days. So, but at least it was really, really fulfilling nature and some
True.
ass-kicking terrain.
Yeah, I think the biggest surprise was the sleep factor. You think, you just did all this physical exertion, you get to the top, you go to sleep, and it's like, why am I still awake an hour later? Well, it could be the elevation, could be the
Yeah.
complete fatigue factor, cannot relax.
Yeah,
But didn't seem to be an issue for the second or third day, so that was great.
Yeah.
it's great.
And you can hear goat bells. We have a little mini herd of goats passing by,
A goat parade.
which is very alpine and very sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a nice added value there.
Yeah, you can tell we're in the mountains when.
Yeah. And maybe we talk quickly about yesterday, but yesterday we hiked from the Bear guest house we're staying in up to a small lake and
Oberhornsee.
Oberhornsee, and the weather was really iffy, but we were so grateful to have really nice views and scenes. And
Yeah.
how do you feel when you're in the Alps, Mike, and those views that you get? And
Refreshed and peaceful and mindful of what I left to get here. I left hazy, hot, humid Washington summers, and I came to nice, cool air and 10 degrees Celsius and low humidity and highly variable sun and fog and conditions. And we kept remarking that the colors change like every 30 seconds. The sun's in a different spot, and the clouds are different, and the fog is different, and then the air temperature is different, and it's just this highly variable experience that you continue to draw from. And as I say, it never really gets old. It's a pretty cool experience,
Yeah.
and I've always been thankful for it.
yeah, this is the part where it's really hard to eliminate technology, because we're
Yeah.
constantly like, but we need to capture this in case we forget, or it's constantly changing in terms of the terrain. And so you feel really inclined to get out your camera or your phone to capture it because you want to be reminded
Well,
of
even
the
if
beauty.
you've already taken 20 photos of the same thing, it's
Exactly.
different light, different clouds, different.
Yeah.
It's just, but it's so impressive every time you turn
Yeah.
around.
So that part's really hard to rein it in, but yeah, it's really magnificent. And I think at the elevation we are in the area, it is just ever changing, and the glaciers and the light and the waterfalls, and it's just so spectacular.
Yeah, and for me, it's not, I want to go home and Instagram this when I reconnect to Wi-Fi. It's, I want to capture a small fragment of that experience so that I can relive it, hopefully, in some not
Yeah.
significantly reduced capacity when I scroll through these photos in a month when I'm back at my job or back in Washington doing my everyday scene. So we'll see if that's true this time.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean, we did a lot of hiking. Can you describe a little bit about discomfort and getting somewhere and the rewards that it has?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the first day was pretty crazy, and I had to anticipate a little bit more, how shall we say, flat the first few miles or kilometers, and then we went through this, what we called the rainforest, which was basically this vertical ascent with about 100% humidity. But that's not really what I remember about the experience. The experience I remember is we got out of that rainforest portion of the trail, ended up at another berg house that had amazing tart cake with some great coffee, and we recharged our proverbial batteries, so to speak, and then continued on. And I think, yes, there was some discomfort there, but as they say, no pain, no gain. And the gain was, and we arrived at this awesome berg house and met Ivo, who was an awesome gentleman, host for us, and met some other great people and had some awesome views and could see a glacier, which again, these glaciers are endangered species. They're not going to be here in a few decades. So the fact that we got to see them, capture them in digital format with our cell phone cameras, and that's a pretty awesome experience. So it's definitely a parallel for life. And I think they say the growth happens in the discomfort. The growth does not happen in areas of comfort. You have to force yourself outside of one's comfort zone. And foreign travel for me has definitely been a piece of that. I didn't travel till I was like 33 years old because I was like, what if I'm lost? Where do I go? What do I do? Like, do I make a fool out of myself? What if I run out of money? Like, to force myself to actually sign up for a passport, like, holy cow, I got to get my picture taken, fill out the paperwork, and pay the fee. But through that discomfort, it allowed my life to grow in ways that now people see me as the foreign traveler. I'm like, really? That was not me 15 years ago. So it's allowed me to grow in ways that have been really phenomenal. And as I say before, like, I expected to have some growth, but it's far exceeded expectations.
Yeah, we agree completely, because we never anticipated that we would live abroad, but it has definitely enriched our lives in ways that we had no way of knowing when we said yes to this experience and this journey. So yeah, it's been great. I just want to say that of all of our friends and all of our family, you're the one who consistently comes back and visits us. So we want to say thank you for that we're able to share experiences with you. And Mike has seen our children grow over the years, and we always take him on very colorful experiences. Yes, which now are really good memories and jokes, but some have not been so funny along the way.
But somehow you keep coming back.
Yes,
so.
You keep coming back, so we're most grateful for that. And I think there's something to be said about sharing experiences such as the beauty and the magic of the natural world with people that you've known throughout the decades, really.
About 25 years.
Yeah, which is
crazy.
quite impressive. So thank you for coming.
Well,
Thanks for sharing.
Thank you for being awesome hosts and constantly willing to plan everything. And I tell my friends back in Washington, like, I just kind of show up. Everything is kind of planned. And it's been a great experience. And I'm very thankful for our friendship and look forward to continued adventures in the years to come.
Yeah, we do too.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Mike.
This was the second of 2 episodes, a special series on our podcast, bringing the outdoors to you wherever you may be. If you would like to see photos, additional details, and the locations from this episode, check out our website, freshairkids.com. You can find the link in the show notes. We hope you have enjoyed it, and we would love to hear from you, so please send us a message and let us know your thoughts. Thank you for listening, rating, and reviewing, and most of all, enjoying the outdoors with us.